What he just said has Vikings fans fired up as co-owner Mark Wilf speaks to the media on two of the biggest names on the Vikings team, boldly speaking on the present and the future of this organization and its top players. We're going to break down all that in this episode of Vikings Digest, but first, if you want to help us reach our goal of 1,500 subscribers before the end of OTAs, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can stay up to date on all things Vikings. And with that, let's hop straight into it, which is Mark Wilf speaks. So at the NFL team owners meeting in Minneapolis, Mark Wilf was talking to KFan Radio with Paul Allen, of course, being the host, talking about JJ McCarthy, saying that he has a gravitational pull as a leader. He really does. I think the way the players support him, I think, of course, the talent is there. Coach O'Connell is glowing in his praises of how he's handled everything to date. And from an off the field perspective, we couldn't be happier. So all the things are pointing in the right direction. And we're going to be supporting JJ to have him be the success we want him to be. And this is something that we usually hear out of someone like Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, some of the other players. But to hear this spoken about JJ McCarthy from one of our co-owners just goes to show the incredible culture that this team has, that Kevin O'Connell has helped establish, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, and of course the Wilfs, who just celebrated a massive anniversary of owning the team for 20 plus years since they've taken over, and just have done a phenomenal job at that, bringing in players like the likes of Randy Moss, Adrian Peterson, obviously Justin Jefferson, and many others. Toby Gerhart is another one that a lot of Vikings fans really love. Some other ones too that we can't just keep going on, because there is a lot of major Vikings players that have come through the doors as a result during the Wilfs tenure as our owners. And just hearing this praise come out from one of our owners, you don't really hear a lot of owners coming out and talking about their players, let alone their starting quarterbacks, and a quarterback who hasn't even started yet in a regular season game, just having so many nice things to say about him. And this is exactly what the Minnesota Vikings organization has just embodied, just supporting their players, staying behind them, and making sure that they have all the right tools to succeed with this team. It's amazing to see, and I cannot be happier to be a Vikings fan than the time we are in right now, because it seems like after a long time, basically for almost over 50 years, that the Vikings have not had a crazy amount of success. We've gotten close. We just haven't quite gotten over that hump. And in my 27 years of life, this is the closest that I feel that we have been since the Brett Favre times of 2009. Last season, I was waiting for the axe to drop at any given point, and it did. I was still not getting too high and drinking the Kool-Aid like some of the other Vikings fans were doing. However, this still is a season where, looking at it on paper, the Vikings could not be looking better, and especially a better situation for JJ McCarthy to step into his first season as a starting quarterback. And it just goes to show that, yes, this team hasn't announced a QB1 necessarily by any means. It's just been very, very cryptic and saying everything except that JJ McCarthy is quarterback number one, where Kevin O'Connell saying the things he's saying about it, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, all the players as well, TJ Hawkinson, Harrison Smith, so many others. Harrison Phillips had an amazing interview where he was talking about the prep process that JJ McCarthy is going through, where he was saying how JJ just wanted to pull him aside even after the injury and just say, hey, I want to go through all these things so I can learn the ins and outs of the defensive line. All this prep work that JJ McCarthy did last season, despite his injury, being able to immerse himself in this Minnesota Vikings system, is looking like it is going to pay off in spades, where the preparation he was able to get in that year off, not exactly a year off necessarily, a year off from playing, but a year of just immersing himself in this Vikings team, it's going to do so much for his career, as we've seen with many quarterbacks who had to sit their first year. Maybe they got some snaps in preseason or in late games and late in the season as well, like Patrick Mahomes did. But there is a very good precedent of quarterbacks who sit behind for a year and then they flourish in their second year, in their first official year starting, and just carry on a massive legacy. I know we're putting a lot on JJ McCarthy here. There's a lot of pressure, but this kid seems like he's ready to take it all on and be the future star of this franchise. But Mark Wilf's praise did not stop there. It carried on to Harrison Smith, where he was talking about saying that he is honestly a marvel. I think, of course, we believe he is going to be in that Hall of Fame in Canton one day. The way he goes about his business, the ultimate pro. He takes care of himself. He's a hard worker. From the day we drafted him 14 years ago, hard to believe, right? 14 years is insane. And one of the highlights of our football taking, if you will, is Harrison Smith and the way he goes about it. All pro all the time, on and off the field, and we couldn't be happier for all his successes. And hopefully we're going to get over that hump on the championship this year, and he deserves a ring too. So that last bit there almost seems to indicate that this is probably Harrison Smith's last season. In the conversations they've had, I know he hasn't come out and formally said that this is his last ride, but with that last sentence right there by Mr. Wilf, that is very indicative that this will probably be Harry's last season, and they want to get over that hump this year so that he can go out with a ring on his way to Canton to get a gold jacket, because he absolutely will be there. Because with 37 interceptions, 20.5 sacks in his career, Smith is just one of 5 players to achieve that mark in NFL history, and the other 4 are already enshrined in Canton, Ohio. It'll take a few years for him to get there, obviously with the eligibility, but he certainly deserves it. Absolutely. Harrison Smith, one of the best safeties of all time, probably the second best safety to ever come through the doors of Minnesota, next to Paul Krause, of course. Again, I've said it before, if you guys haven't watched that video that they did a few years ago on the Vikings channel, where Harry is talking with Paul Krause about the different generations of Vikings football, the history of Vikings football, and everything, it's one of the best Vikings videos you will ever watch. Do not miss it if you haven't seen it yet after so many years. If you haven't, go check it out. Please go watch it. It's the best. But overall, Harrison Smith, one of the best. Can't wait to see what he's able to do in his swan song season. Hopefully we can get him over that hump, because he absolutely deserves a ring. I don't think there's anybody on Minnesota right now more deserving of a ring than Harrison Smith. 14 years he has been on this team. I remember when Minnesota drafted him out of Notre Dame and thinking that this guy is going to be something special, and he has done nothing but exceed those expectations. He's been absolutely astounding every season. When we need a big play, he's there, whether it's a sack, a fumble, or a game-sealing interception. He is that guy that you want, or even if it's a big hit as well in the secondary, just to make sure a guy doesn't catch the ball and just disrupts a pass. Harry is him, and he absolutely deserves a Super Bowl ring to go out as the true hitman that he is. Like so many other players, let's give him a Ray Lewis and Peyton Manning type swan song this season. And this is another element as to why, time back to JJ McCarthy, you look at the situation he's in. He's got so many veterans on the offensive and defensive side of the ball to look at. You got on the offensive side, you got Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, and Christian Darrisaw, Brian O'Neill. Those guys are vets. Then you have TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones as well. Those guys are vets. Then on the defense side of the ball, Harrison Smith is the big veteran. Then you have Jonathan Allen as well, and so many other guys too. Byron Murphy is now considered one of those vets. And in that secondary room with Harrison Smith and Byron Murphy being the leaders that they are, it just goes to show so much faith in this secondary and in this defense, where yes, we might be needing another piece here and there, and stay tuned for something on that, because there is a name that is starting to get a lot more traction again in the Minnesota Vikings conversation, so you won't want to miss that episode when we drop it. It's going to be coming very soon. But overall, this secondary group with Harry at the helm is looking very stellar and looking like something that Minnesota is going to be a force to be reckoned with on defense and on offense. But having Harrison Smith as that leader, not only for this Vikings team, but for JJ McCarthy, goes to show that on the defense side of the ball, if we have Harrison Smith clicking on all cylinders, getting JJ McCarthy clicking on all cylinders, this is going to be a team that'll be very tough to stop. And Mark Wilf is sitting there being very happy that he has both of them on his team at the same time, able to finally try and get over that hump. And hopefully this is the year. I know we're putting a lot of hype into this season. It's been probably the most hyped Viking season in a long time, strictly because of JJ McCarthy and what we did last season. But I don't know. There's something does feel different. I'm not going to fully say it feels different because we haven't even started playing yet. But overall, as far as off seasons go, nothing has really felt quite like this for Minnesota Vikings fans, at least in my lifetime, or at least not since the Brett Favre days, or season, I should say. So with that, I know he played a season and a half there, but that second season was nothing really to be memorable. But that offseason, that was something special, and this offseason has very similar glimmers of it. Yeah, it's not bringing in a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, thankfully, but it is still a quarterback that is getting a lot of buzz and hopefully is the one to take us to the promised land. But what do you guys think about all of this? Let us know what you guys have to say down in the comments below, and let us know how pumped you are for this Viking season. Keep us posted on what you guys think throughout the year as the season unfolds. What do you guys think about Mark Wilf's comments on everything from JJ McCarthy to Harrison Smith And when do you guys think that Harrison Smith will be a Hall of Famer? Do you think it's first or second ballot? I know we're all probably thinking first, but that's probably unanimous amongst Vikings fans. But let us know anyways and how much you guys love Harrison Smith, just so that we can get as much hype around him as we can heading into his final season, or likely his final season. But that's going to do it for this episode of Vikings Digest. I've been your host, Griffen. Take care.